Well, hello and happy summer. It is middle of July already, so it's summer market update time. What is going on in the real estate market? There have been some changes, some shifts that we've seen happen. We're going to talk about those today. But first, I want to start with a little story. We've had a couple of these instances happen this last week. Like I said, the market is shifting. Okay, so sellers are having to learn that we're in a different market. We've had a couple of sellers this last week or two we've had to have some hard conversations with, right? Sellers maybe that were expecting multiple offers or thinking that no issues would come up on the inspection, things like that. Well, sometimes they do. And what we're having to coach our sellers through is when you get an offer, often your first offer is your best offer, right? So after you get through, they do the inspection. The seller says, I don't want to do any of that stuff. My house is perfect. Well, seller, if we don't do this stuff that we now know about, we're going to have to revise your seller disclosure form to let everybody know about it, or we're going to have to just fix it for this buyer and move on towards closing. So sometimes sellers aren't excited about that, but that is the reality of this market that we are shifting into. So what is this market that we're shifting into? So first of all, we're headed into summer. There's normally always this kind of summer slowdown that we see, but I wanted to go over a few numbers just so you guys can understand what that looks like in today's market, kind of what's been happening. So first thing I want to talk about is new listings, okay? So normally, right, we're seeing about 800 to 1,000 new listings a month in Southeast King County as we go through like the spring market. Well, this year we've been running 600, 650. So we're definitely well behind what we would expect to have for a number of new listings coming to the market. So there's less new listings than normal, but a significant more amount than last year, okay? Last year we had about 590 homes come on the market in June. This year we saw about 650. So up about 10% on the number of homes coming to the market, which is a great thing. Total actives is where we're definitely seeing a shift from last year. Last June, we had about 487 homes on the market, and right now we're running about 775. So that's great news for you as a buyer. We'll get to that in a minute. For you as a seller, you need to be aware there's more competition. So pending sales, that's a number that we at John Scott track on a weekly basis in our market, and that's looking at what percentage of the homes that come on the market are selling in week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Okay, so I went back and looked at year to date. What does this year look like, right? And this is where we're really seeing a shift in the market. Again, this is seasonal. This is not uncommon, but it's important for buyers and sellers to know. So as we went through the first 4 months of the year, kind of January, February, March, April, we were seeing that, depending upon the week, about 50 to 60% of the listings that came on the market were gone in the first week. You put your home on the market, you got a 50 to 60% shot that thing is gone within 7 days. That is incredible. That is still a very, very busy market. By the end of 30 days, we're averaging about 75% of homes are under contract. So again, 50 to 60% first week, and up to about 75% by the end of the month. In May, we noticed a shift. In May, that number dropped to about 40% selling in the first week and about 65% by the end of the first month. And then here's where we're really seeing the shift as we get into June. So June, we saw about 35% of homes selling in the first week and about 55% in the first month. So back up into the spring market, you had about a 50% chance of it selling in the first week. In a June-July market, you got about a 50% chance of it selling in the first month. Can you see the reality check that sellers are having to accept, okay? Instead of selling in the first week, we're now shooting for the first month. That means your home's gonna be sitting on the market longer. It means you're not gonna be getting a ton of showings every day, right? You know, maybe that first initial blast there that first week, but after that, if you're getting a couple of showings a week right now, that's doing good. So you gotta modify your expectations to align with the buyer activity that's in today's market. So really make sure you have those good expectations. Interest rates, some good news there. Okay, so the Fed has announced that they're likely to make a rate cut in September, and that has spurred rates to drop a little bit. So we're down below 7, 6.7, 6.8 is where your 30-year conventional mortgage rates are sitting right now. So it's nice to be below that 7 threshold. That's great news for buyers, and hopefully will create some more activity out there in the market as well. So what sellers need to know and what buyers need to know. Well, if you're a seller, well, we just talked about, right? 50% chance in the first week to 50% chance in the first month. That's the shift that's happened over the last 90 days. So you need to have realistic expectations of activity, realistic expectations of what your house is really worth in today's market, because with the less demand for housing, we're definitely seeing a lot of price reductions out there. Sellers trying to figure out, hey, how do we get this home sold? And many sellers have a lot of equity, right, that they've gained over the last couple of years if they've lived in the home for a while. So they're okay giving some of that back, because the reality is, you know what? They just want to get on with their lives. They're getting a job relocation out of state. They're getting whatever their life change that's happening is. They just want to know, hey, what price do I need to put on my house to get it to sell? Okay, so you need to have realistic expectations. One question I get often from sellers is, when should I put my home on the market? Well, for right now, my answer is sooner rather than later, right? If you want to get your home sold in 2024, probably sooner is better than later, right? So I would, if you're thinking you want to put your house on the market in like September, October, I would challenge you to think about, well, why not, August or September, right? I think as a general rule, the sooner you get on the market, the better as we head into the fall market. There's a lot of unknowns. Obviously, we're living in crazy times these days. If you're a buyer, okay, so a few things for you to know. You have more options now than you've had in the last 2 years. Okay, so that's a good thing. More options to choose from. You got rates below 7%, which is great. And you got sellers who are very motivated to get their home sold. So we're seeing more sellers offering credits for carpet, credits for closing costs. We're seeing sellers do repairs. We've replaced siding on the house recently. We've given a credit for a roof recently. Like, sellers are willing to deal to get their home sold. So that's great news for you as a buyer. You haven't had this situation where rates have come down, inventory has increased, and sellers are more willing to negotiate with you in a while. So that is great news for you as a buyer. That's what's going on. A lot of things moving pieces. Things are getting shaken up a little bit. Let us know any questions you have, how we can help you accomplish your real estate goals. We'd be honored to help you however we can. So please pass our name and number along to your friends and family as well. Have a great summer and stay cool. See ya. Bye.